Severe weather on the way, we have the latest.
Plus, tips on how you and your vehicle can safely weather the storm, and a protester is punched in the middle of campus. This is OU Nightly.
Thanks for watching OU Nightly. I'm Liberta.
And I'm Coyle. We begin tonight with heavy rain coming down here on campus and across the Norman area.
That's right, our OU Nightly weather team is tracking this for us. Let's get right over to meteorologist Millard. Eli?
Yeah, that's right. We've seen a couple hours of heavy rain, and that's going to continue. The National Weather Service has issued a severe thunderstorm watch from southwestern Oklahoma following I-44 all the way up towards the northeast. And we also have some severe thunderstorm warnings, one just south of Lawton and Tillman County, and one just northeast of Stillwater pulling into Osage County, and one in Muskogee. And looking at radar, statewide, the storms are firing up across the boundary that is going from southwest towards the northeast, even an outlier way behind that boundary here in Osage County. But as we go to our strongest storm in the state right now, that is in Tillman County. It recently has been dropping hail from pea-size to golf ball size hail. But as we go into Norman, we're really just seeing nothing severe here in Norman. We're just seeing heavy rain, and it is going to continue. Now, total rainfall, keep in mind, it's not been raining for a long time, but it has rained at a fast rate. We're seeing a rain rate of like 1 inch to 2 inches of rain. Here in Norman, we're just under 1 inch of rain. And there's also a flooding risk. And the highest flooding risk is in northeastern Oklahoma, and Norman is located in that moderate risk. And Cameron Jordan is live on campus giving us an update on that flooding. Cameron?
Thanks, Eli. I'm out here on Elm Avenue, which is right across the street from the University of Oklahoma, and it's kind of in a lull right now on the rain, but about 30-45 minutes ago, it was really coming down. Take a look at this video that was shot here on Elm Avenue. It really shows you how the water can start retaining here on these roads and start coming up over the curb, and that can mean really bad news for low-profile cars. So if you're a student who drives a low-profile car, this is something you're going to want to watch, and really just in general, because this area of streets around campus and really in Norman is pretty notorious for really retaining that water and just having some issues with flooding and that water not going down until there's a lull in the rain like this. So we'll want to keep an eye on this rain as it goes up and down throughout the evening. I'm going to send it back over to you, Eli.
Thanks, Cameron. And coming up in weather, we're going to talk about how the heavy rain is continuing, and we're going to give you another update on campus flooding, and then we're going to track our next storm system. Ladies, back to you.
Thanks, Eli. Today's severe weather included a risk of hail, and that means students rushing to get their cars under cover as early as this morning. OU Nightly reporter Carolynn Felling is live in the stadium garage with the story. Carolynn?
It's no secret that finding parking on OU's campus can be hard, but what's even harder is finding parking during severe weather. The start of spring means the start of storm season, and parking during those storms can be a difficult task. Drivers are looking for any green light above spots they can turn red in order to keep their vehicles safe from hail threats.
And I had to park in the areas where the lines are where you're not supposed to park, just because I didn't want to get my car held on, you know?
OU Parking Services says that they will still ticket cars in severe weather, so only permitted cars can park in the campus garages. Even still, students say,
because it's like a war zone in here.
Finding shelter for you and your car during severe weather is the best way to keep everyone safe. Spots are filling up fast, so if you want to protect your car, head to the nearest covered parking lot.
OU campus safety is on alert today, helping students prepare as the storms move in. OU sent out an email explaining the difference between a watch and a warning meaning that severe weather is coming or already occurring in your area. It also tells students to take immediate shelter if they receive an OU Rave tornado alert. If that alert comes, make sure you shelter in place and have a plan and have a safety kit nearby.
Understanding the weather during severe storm season is essential. OU's South Campus is home to the National Weather Service, and they host storm spotter training for the public every year.
springtime in Oklahoma. Those words bring one thing to mind: tornadoes. When tornadoes strike, radar images only tell part of a story. It's observations that help the National Weather Service send out and confirm watches and warnings. Every year, the Norman office of the National Weather Service trains the general public to teach them about severe weather and how to become a certified storm spotter.
It's just an opportunity to get people together and get ready for spring. We've already had a taste of spring already a couple of times this year, and it's just a matter of time before we'll be dealing with the real spring storm.
A storm spotter is someone who sends in reports about what they're seeing outside during a weather event, and that information gets relayed back to meteorologists. But severe weather can be complicated.
You turn on the news and the newscaster starts talking to me what is absolute gibberish, words that I've never heard before in my life. So I was really excited to come here and learn about wall cloud and about supercells and these various features that you hear about when there's a potential tornado coming.
Simplified, easy-to-follow presentations allow the everyday person to understand the basics behind the weather to help them during a storm.
Storm spotting is interesting, and you never know, I might be able to put it to use, so depending where I am.
Now that I live here, this stuff is now local, and so I want to be a little bit more educated and be able to just kind of, rather than watching stuff on a computer screen, be able to know what it is I'm looking at when I see things in the real world.
And when out in the real world, organizers want storm spotters to take away
a good reminder of the safety message about how important it is to be safe, whether it's from hail, wind, flooding, or tornadoes.
The training is open to the public, and there are just a few sessions left this spring. We'll post a link where you can sign up for an in-person or virtual session on the OU Nightly Facebook page.
Tension boiled over in front of the Bizzle Library today when police said an OU student punched a campus protester. Cell phone video captured the confrontation when you can see the man and the protester are going back and forth before the man is eventually struck, falling to the ground. OU Nightly reached out to both Norman Police and OU Police for more information on what happened, but neither agencies has responded to our request at this time. There's no word on what the protesters' cause was or if anyone was arrested.
At the state capitol, the Senate unanimously passes a bill protecting students' rights to wear tribal regalia during graduation. Senate Bill 429 passed with a vote of 45-0, with no questions or debate.
All those opposed, nay. The amendment is adopted. Senator Montgomery asks unanimous consent that the bill be advanced. Without objection, that will be the order.
Including traditional garments, eagle feathers, and beadwork. Now it heads to the House.
In Washington are calling for an all-out ban of TikTok in the U.S. Spencer Plato has that and the rest of today's headlines from the News Center.
The social media platform TikTok is taking intense criticism after today's hearing before Congress. Lawmakers are concerned the Chinese government could gain access to American user data through the app, which is owned by a Chinese company. TikTok CEO says U.S. user data is stored on American soil and watched over by a U.S. company. The social media app has already been banned on federal and some states' devices, including Oklahoma, due to security concerns. Today, the items of convicted killer Alex Murdaugh and his family went up for auction. The auction started about 40 minutes ago at a South Carolina auction house. Items include couches, beds, and other household items at the Moselle estate. The auction house said it received more calls than usual leading up to the sale. World Athletics announces new rules impacting transgender women athletes in track and field events. The new regulations bans athletes who have gone through male puberty from participating in female rankings competitions. These new regulations are set to begin on March 31st. Bailey, Catherine, World Athletics is putting together a working group to evaluate transgender inclusion.
Thanks, Spencer. There's a new health threat in the United States.
After the break, hear what experts are having to say about this new fungus and who it might affect.
And storms and heavy rain continuing here in Norman. Our OU Nightly weather experts are tracking the storms. They're live with the latest coming up. Today marks the 13-year anniversary of the signing of the Affordable Health Care Act. Darian has that and more in today's Health Beat.
President Joe Biden says Obamacare is keeping rural hospitals open nationwide. Biden says the Affordable Health Care Act prevents rural residents from traveling twice as far to urban hospitals, ensuring they get help as soon as possible. And the president says nearly 40 million people get their health care through the act. And officials are warning of an emerging fungal threat that is drug-resistant. It's called Candida auris, and the CDC is considering it an urgent threat due to a spike in cases in the United States in recent years. The center says it is easily spread through healthcare facilities and could potentially cause deadly diseases. And the Biden administration's COVID-19 response team will soon be disbanded. The team will end along with the administration's public health care emergency policies on May 11th. The team was responsible for rolling out vaccines, treatments, and medical supplies across the country. And according to a new study, people who drink coffee take on average 1,000 more steps per day compared to people who don't. Catherine, Bailey, I don't know about you, but I'm definitely getting my daily steps in.
Thanks, Darian. The university is celebrating the merge of the OU Native Nations Center.
With that merge comes new changes. We'll tell you what's in store coming up.
And Eli is keeping an eye on those storms. Eli?
Yeah, heavy rain and severe storms continue across the state. We'll have the latest coming up.
And we are getting images in of some wrecks on the rain-soaked streets. This crash just happened near the Mont. That's at Boyd and Classen. Emergency crews are asking people to avoid the area. Right now, there is no word on injuries. We'll bring you more information as we get it.
Yeah, welcome back to OU Nightly. Here on live satellite, we can look across the state and we can see actually some higher echo tops in certain areas where those storms are firing up. And like I said before, those storms are firing up across the boundary, and there it is. You can see it. 70s out in front of it. That's the more favorable conditions for storms. Out behind it here, especially Norman, we're looking at 57 degrees. Even some slight warming just south of Elk City. And our winds, they're really all over the place. Those winds right along that front are changing directions. And we're seeing 11-mile-an-hour wind gusts here in Norman. I'm going to toss it over to Colton Williams to give us an update on those severe storms.
All right, that's right, guys. Yeah, continue to track severe weather across Oklahoma today, and we've had several showers and storms go up over the Norman area. So far, no severe thunderstorm warnings, but again, really ranging from I-44 northeast to southwest. Severe weather going on all across the state right now. But again, several severe thunderstorm warnings, none over campus at the moment, one just southeast of the Tulsa Metro. This next one moving up into Pawnee County. This is moving from Payne into Pawnee County now. These storms, they're moving quickly, but they're dumping lots and lots of rain as they do. Here on the OU campus right now, currently quiet and calm, but our next wave of rain off to the west and southwest. Again, here on campus, it's quiet. That's where we find OU Nightly's Matt Bednar. He is live now in the stadium parking garage with an update on rainfall totals. Matt, tell us where you are, what you're seeing. Rain's letting up as we speak.
Yeah, Colton, I'm here live from Gaylor Memorial Stadium parking garage. The rain has definitely quieted off the last 15 minutes or so, but within the last hour, we definitely have seen the rainfall really start to pile up here on campus. Some of these sidewalks have turned into small rivers, and these puddles have turned into ponds as campus continues to see the rainfall continue to fall. Next several hours, we're likely to see the rain continue to come down, maybe some of these storms bringing small hail and maybe an isolated tornado threat in northeastern Oklahoma. Remember, if you do see standing water, it is safer not to drive through it. Turn around, do not drown. Reporting live from Gaylor Memorial Stadium, I'm Matt Bednar. Colton, back to you.
All right, good work there, Matt. Yeah, that's what you get when you have the biggest weather team in the country, the biggest collegiate weather team in the country. Here at OU Nightly, we've got a detailed look at OU's campus and across the Norman area. Now, for the last 24 hours or so, again, heavy rainfall really coming in most of this in the last 2 or 3 hours or so. We've probably only seen 45 minutes of consecutive rainfall at Norman, and we've already piled up nearly an inch in some areas just south here of Norman, here down into Garvin County, seeing nearly 1.5 inches. So more is on the way right now. And again, this is additional rainfall total. So you begin to add this on to the near inch we've already seen. Now we're looking at 2 to 3 inches locally. And again, anywhere within this purple band, locally higher totals are possible. Right now, again, these storms, they are continuing to produce 2 to 3 inches of rainfall over just a short period of time. So right now, this is the big time setup here. The jet stream is overhead. That's what's led to the weather setup today. But again, it's all riding off of this boundary layer that's sitting overhead. That's where the storms are continuing to fire. So into this evening, we're going to continue to have 100% chance of rain from Oklahoma City and eastward, as rain is going to end from west to east here into western Oklahoma, moving into eastern Oklahoma. So as we lows tonight, upper 40s, lows in the lower 50s, as that cold front continues to ride off to the southeast. Before then, we'll move into tomorrow, we'll be in the upper 50s and the lower 60s. All right, so again, severe weather risk coming in tomorrow as we head into the southeastern part of our country. The next week or so, upper 50s, lower 60s for the weekend. Ladies, be good this time next week. Back to you.
Thanks, Colton. The university is celebrating the OU Native Nation Center tonight. OU President Joseph Harris said the center is merging with the official of tribal relations to expand the center's impact. Tonight's event was all about welcoming the center's new director, Tana Fitzpatrick. The university says that the center will physically stay in Copeland Hall. Spring football started this week, which means that the spring game is just around the corner.
That's right, Caleigh. Joe Hommel has more on the spring game and when to get tickets next in sports.
I'll tell you why you might want to show up early, and I'll show you who will compete in Pro Day right after this. Hello, I'm Caleigh Jo Hommel, and it's time for sports. The return to the Palace for Brent Venables and his new squad is approaching, with tickets now on sale. The OU Athletics Department announced Wednesday tickets to the spring game and 2023 season tickets can now be purchased. The April 22nd spring game kicks off at 2:30 p.m. at Gaylord Memorial Stadium. And if you're attending the spring game, you might want to show up extra early. Sooner legend Kyler Murray is set to be honored in a pre-game Heisman Trophy statue unveiling. The statue will be revealed in Heisman Park at 11:30 a.m., followed by a ceremony on field during halftime. Speaking of former Sooners, 17 are expected to return home for OU football's 2023 Pro Day. You can expect to see the familiar faces of Marvin Mims, Eric Gray, and Gabe Burkich, all looking to show out to some pro scouts. Pro Day takes place March 30th at Everest Training Center. Moving to the Diamond, Big 12 conference play begins this weekend for OU softball against Iowa State, and head coach Patty Gasso is looking forward to it.
Anytime we have conference teams that are that good, they make us prepare hard, they make us better. And that's ultimately our goal. I don't know if people believe it or not, but win or lose, we want to get better so that when it matters the most, and to us it matters the most in the end of May and early June, that we are playing our best softball.
Flipping over to another #1 Sooner squad, OU women's gymnastics continues to show why they're reigning national champs. 6 members secured 10 regular season All-America honors. At least 2 Sooners were recognized for every event, with junior Jordan Bowers representing Oklahoma all around. Over in the NBA, the Thunder returns tonight to close out their 2-game set with the Clippers. After going back and forth all game, OKC edged out Los Angeles 101-100 Tuesday. OKC is looking to sweep the series against the Clippers for the first time since 2013. The Thunder will stay in the City of Angels Friday to take on the Lakers, where former Sooner Austin Reeves proved himself last night versus the Suns. Reeves earned hero status after posting 25 points and earning his first double-double of the season. The Lakers took the game 122-111, even without LeBron. And we'll be right back with one last check on the weather.
I'm Becca Yanez at the OU Nightly Update Desk. The Federal Trade Commission wants to make it easier for consumers to cancel their subscriptions. The FTC is considering banning companies from trying to retain consumers through deceptive or burdensome tactics. Bailey, Catherine, back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Becca. And with severe weather moving across the state, let's get one last look at the weather. Eli?
Yeah, severe weather continues across the state, still in the same place that we saw earlier, really following I-44 from Lawton all the way up to Miami. And we're still seeing those same severe thunderstorm warnings that we saw earlier, just north of Tulsa and near Muskogee and down in Lawton. And storms are continue to develop just southwest of Norman. So these are called training storms. So they're going to keep repeating and going over the same areas over and over. Now, looking at our 7-day forecast, we're looking at 59 degrees on Friday. Here's that severe weather chance tomorrow and overnight. Then going into Saturday, a mild weekend, 60 degrees. And then we're looking at 50s next week before another warm-up next Thursday and possibly another storm system. Ladies, back to you.
Thanks, Eli, and thank you for watching OU Nightly. I'm Carolynn Liberta.
And I'm Bailey Coyle. Be sure to tune in to OU Nightly every weekday, live at 4:30. Good night.